guys, so for my first video ever, I wanted to talk about my money mistakes. Okay, so let's start out with these mistakes that you should avoid or just don't even go near them. And everything's on my notebook, so yeah. So the first one was not tracking my expenses. Okay, so you literally don't even realize how much money you spend in a week or how much money you spent in a day until you actually look at your bank statement at the end of the month and you're like, oh, I spent $300 on coffee. That wasn't on my plan. That wasn't in my budget. But yeah, just track your expenses, guys. It's not that hard, and you're honestly gonna realize where your money's going and if you're spending it correctly. And if you're not happy with the way you're spending your money, then you can change everything by seeing where you spend your money. 2, my second mistake was not starting a savings account / emergency fund. So we've all been there where a car breaks down or you don't have money like you thought you did on your debit card, your credit card, or whatever. You don't have the money that you thought you had, or maybe your bed breaks or something, like something comes up and you don't have the money and you're kind of just waiting for your next paycheck to fix the thing that you have to fix now. All of a sudden, you're stressed in a situation you don't want to be in, and that's all because you didn't have a little bit of extra money saved up for things like this. It is extremely important to have an emergency fund. If you're a teenager, have anywhere between $100, $500, $1,000 saved up. That's just for emergencies. And no, getting McDonald's at 2 a.m. is not an emergency. Make sure you use it right. Okay, guys? And for your savings account, just make sure that you have a good system for saving money. I know I used to keep it in a mason jar, and then I'd count it, and a month later I'd have $20 less or whatever, and it turns out people were taking my money. I love that. So yeah, make sure that, and make sure you don't tap into it. I know when I first started my savings account, if I didn't have gas money, then I'd take it out of my savings account to pay for my gas when I should have just budgeted out my money. So yeah. The third one was eating out too much or drinking too much coffee. So I used to have 2 jobs. I actually have 2 jobs right now, but I'm looking for a third one. But I had 2 jobs, and I would get up at 4:30 a.m., work from 5 a.m. until 2 p.m., get out at 2 p.m., work from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I would just always eat out. I never even packed my lunch. And at the end of the summer, I started I looked at all my bank accounts and my bank statements and everything, and I realized that a lot of my money was just going towards food that I could have avoided not buying. I could have literally bought the ingredients and then made my food at home and take it to work. And I actually did that throughout winter, and it saved me a lot of money. My 4th mistake was buying fast fashion / cheap clothes. So when I mean my fast fashion is clothing that comes out at the moment and is very popular and that everyone's buying, but that in 2 months or so, you're no longer gonna wear it. A lot of fast fashion items are low quality because the people making it know that's only gonna be popular for a certain amount of time and it's gonna go out. And fast fashion is actually really bad for the environment because all that clothing just goes to the landfills and stuff like that. So avoid buying fast fashion. And half of the time it's clothing that you don't even like or that's in your style, so why would you even buy it to begin with? And with cheap clothing, you really need to make sure what you're buying is worth the money. For example, I used to buy American Eagle jeans and I loved them and they were great, and I'd always buy the jeggings because I was like, oh my god, these are so much more comfortable. Yeah, well, buying jeggings actually made me spend more money because my thighs would rub together, and because they weren't 100% cotton, they would just get destroyed after a year, which made me buy more jeans. So make sure that you're looking at the materials in the items that you buy, and do your research before you even buy anything so you don't buy cheap clothing. And cheap clothing isn't always $5. It could be American Eagle. Some of their clothing is cheap, and sometimes Forever 21 has 100% cotton clothing, their shirts, and I've had one of their shirts for a year and it's been great. So yeah, just check the material. It doesn't matter where you buy your clothing, you still need to check the materials that are being used in your clothing. My 5th one was not filling up my gas tank when receiving my paycheck. I actually started researching ways to save gas on my car because I live 20 minutes away from everything. So I was spending a lot of money on gas. And I found this like article that talked about if you fill up your gas tank when you get your paycheck or whenever, it's actually going to save you a lot more money than when you put $5, $10, $20. And I think that honestly is true, because my parents used to pay for my gas and they would give me like $10, and then like 3 days later I'd ask them for money again. And then when they fill up my gas tank, then I wouldn't ask as much, and for some reason it would like not cost as much money, if that makes sense. I don't know, you can do your own research on this. My sixth one was not using coupons. If you know, like common household items like toothpaste, shampoo, soap, deodorant, hair products, like things that you buy, there's so many coupons out there for you to buy them cheaper. Coupons are literally money being handed to you. Like if someone gave you $5, would you just be like, no, I actually don't want those $5? No, you'd be like, yes, give it to me. Let me put it in my wallet. So coupons are literally money being handed to you. Also, sign up for rewards. Like coupons and rewards and all that, they are so worth it. Like on my toothpaste, I buy like 3 of those Crest thingies for like $3. And that's because I have a $5 coupon thing where you buy 3, save $5. And you can use coupons on items that are on sale, so you save even more money, which is what I usually do. So yeah, I wish I would have started using coupons a long time ago. 7, living paycheck to paycheck. This was just horrible. So in fall and winter especially, I would like spend all my money, and then in a week I wouldn't have any money, so then I'd have to wait for like me to get my check again. And it was just like I had no plan for my paycheck, and that's why I live paycheck to paycheck, and it's just not a good way to live. So this kind of ties in with number 1, like track your expenses so you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Number 8 was not having a plan. Guys, I'm not kidding you. You have to make a budget plan. And I know a lot of people are like, well, budgeting doesn't give me the time to like I don't have the time to budget, or I don't need to budget. Yes, you do. Everyone needs to budget. Like if you think you're too rich to budget, think again. There's literally millionaires that budget. Budgeting gives you freedom to spend. And you're like, how does that make any sense? Because when you're spending money that you know is assigned for that certain item, it's gonna like cause you to just feel free and like weight lifted off, because you don't feel guilty spending money on the item since you had that money set for that item, if that makes any sense. Number 9, paying for others. So I had a boyfriend, so he's an ex now. I had a boyfriend and I'd pay for him all the time, and I also had friends that would make me pay all the time. People in your life that expect you to pay for them should like be cut off. Like if they don't pay and they expect you to pay all the time, then they're just taking advantage of you, and half of the time that's probably why they're even hanging out with you, since they know that you're going to pay for them. And if they're always in that plan, then you're always going to be stuck having to pay for them. So just stop spending your money on others. And also, this ties in with the budget thing. If you have a budget for going out and food and all that, then you can be like, sorry, that's not in my budget, I can't pay for you. Number 10 is buying everything new. I used to hate walking into thrift stores, and I feel like there's this whole thing around buying used and all that. Like people buying new cars because they're like, I don't want to buy a used car, like that's gonna give me problems. It all depends on your car and everything. Like you have a brand new BMW and it can cost you a lot more money, like with fixes, and it could probably like have more problems than like a Honda Accord that you have from like 2010 or whatever. So buy a used car if you're gonna, like if you're a teen, buy a used car, don't buy a brand new car. And also with clothing, I actually bought this used for $20 off Mercari, and it has no problems with it. It's a lot cheaper. Like I got it for $20, and these are like 100, I believe, or something like that. Like you save a lot of money buying used, but when buying used, be aware of the thing that you're buying. Like fully inspect it, especially when you go into thrift stores, because I know a lot of thrift stores don't have like returns, like you can't return things. So make sure there's no stains or tears when you buy it, because they're not going to take it back. So yeah, try to buy used, especially phones. there's a lot of people that buy brand new iPhones like every single year, right? So they only probably use the phone that you're gonna buy for like a year, which means it still has like 2 to 3 years left in it. So you should probably buy your iPhones used. I haven't bought any iPhones used, but I know a lot of people that do buy them used, and they got like pretty good use out of them. And I really wish I would have done that, because I bought my phone for $1,000 and I saw one online for like $300 the other day, and it was really disappointing. But yeah, so just buy used. If you need to buy something new, buy it new, but if you can, buy it used. And there's also platforms online like Poshmark and Mercari. I happen to sell on both of them, and I know a lot of people on there like buy items, don't use them, they're brand new with tags, or they were barely worn or used, and they're in perfect condition. They're selling them for cheaper. So I hope you guys can relate to those mistakes, and if you can't, I'm clapping for you, because I wish I wouldn't have made these mistakes, but I did, and I'm fixing them, and I hope you start fixing them. So until next, guys, make progress with your money.